All right.
And we're back.
Yes. So, I thought it was just going to be a one podcast, but I feel like we're going to do a mini series.
At this point,
At this point, um, out of all the videos I've done, this is the most views I've had. But a lot of people have been asking for Bibi to be on it. She just never wants to do. All right. So now we're here, and I think we're going to do a mini podcast. Both admitting that we're very prideful, or we used to be very prideful, and allowing humility to take us to different places, allowing vulnerability to break us down, and and I'm gonna share like what happened this week. It's my turn,
recent developments.
like recent
Yes,
developments.
let's go for it.
So I just want to let you guys know it's a school night, and she came here late tonight to do this because of what happened this week.
Yes.
So I'm so excited.
Like, it's not about me this time. Like, the focus is on somebody else.
Also, our engineer right now is Nefty. So if you hear someone talking in the background asking a question, it's her. So before I go into what happened this week, I guess for context, because if we're going to make this a mini series, I believe what I'm going to talk about is that pride is a beautiful liar, and um, and that's what I'm going to call it. Pride is a beautiful liar. And so I need to start from the very beginning of how I got from there to here and then leading into everything else because it's not going to make sense. So when I got out of the military, it was like I needed to hurry up and find a career. I needed to hurry up and find an identity because the uniform was my identity. It felt great. And so I needed to hurry up to get a house. I needed to hurry up and get this. I needed to hurry up and get titles, positions, and everything, get money. And that drove me to a place that, and I'm just telling the very short version. And so because of that, I realized that I was not in a good place at all. I had everything that I wanted, and it just was still missing something. And so the the reality started kicking in that everything that I chased was it was not it. I was still missing something. And so when I got to a place, in a real bad place, I started asking, I don't know why I started asking this, but I started asking God, what's pride? And I said, how do I get rid of pride? And
I've never asked that, by the way.
because I didn't think I was. I didn't see what the big deal was.
Well, I've always known. It's just, I just thought that it saved me or protected me from other stuff. Not always like.
So you acknowledge you were prideful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I knew I was prideful, but I didn't see a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see a big deal because it never, like, it was never in the wrong, right? Like, it always benefited me. I saw the benefits of it. I never saw the other side of it because I didn't lose friendships. I didn't lose relationships because of it. It was more like, oh, I'm going to protect myself. And that just turned out to work in my benefit.
Oh yeah, it didn't work in my benefit.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so then I started asking, I was like, what's pride? Like, maybe I should just ask for it to go away. I didn't know the beginning of hell was about to begin. Well, what felt like it. And so I remember still to this day, like I met like the certain people that were just, I realized I had a need to be right. I had a need to be powerful. I had a need to be secure. But even though I was insecure, I was all of like the things I hid behind the prideful like mentality, and it hurt so bad. Like till this day, I know how these people look like, and it was almost like 6, 7 years ago. And so God would just send me all these people just to bruise me, and I physically just started feeling ill. And I was like, okay, hold up, time out. Like, what was all that about? And I remember seeing this visual, like this big fat like Buddha, and it was like, so it was like really messy, and like all this food, and just had all this, and I was like, oh, okay, like, and he was like, that's what your pride looks like. it's always hungry. If you want to be free from pride, you have to starve it. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, still no clue what it was. And getting towards to the point where I started mentally not getting in a good place, and I refused to ask for help. And I'm gonna share. I'm gonna confess. Don't judge me out loud. You can't, but it doesn't matter. I used to think that people that needed God were weak. I thought you couldn't figure it out. I thought you were just a sucker. I thought you were just weak in my book.
Oh, I did not think that.
I thought like, I was like, haha, you can't figure it out. And even though in our culture, God is in the picture, but not as relationship, but as tradition and religion. And so I have, so the mentality is very common in certain cultures, in certain families, in certain bloodlines. So maybe they won't say that out loud, but I will.
Okay, so what you're saying that you feel that people in other cultures or in our culture and in some bloodlines thought the same?
Oh, yes.
That if you believed in God,
No, if you needed help.
if you help, the help part, not the God part.
No, if you needed help.
Okay.
If you needed God, then you were weak.
Oh, no. Okay. I can't relate to that.
No,
Okay.
So I thought you were weak.
Yeah, the help part, yes. If you needed help, yes. If you
No.
asked for help, yes. I can see how people in our culture, in households that I'm familiar with, would be like, oh, that's weak. But not the God part.
But I was also very like, I was done with God. I was like atheist mentality.
Okay.
I was like, traditionally, I think you were still like, oh no. Me, I was more like, I was more like two middle fingers up in the air. I was done. I was done. I was like, I don't need you. I'm good. But I started asking questions. I don't know why, but it was there. And so when I got to a point where I needed to ask for help, I was so devastated. I was so hurt. And I was like, and the moment I started asking for help, I could not get it. It was not available for me. They would send me home. They would send me to work, and my work was like, no, you need to go to the hospital. And then I was like,
and they were agency institutions.
Yeah, so it was like the hospital.
Okay.
And so it was like, I was like, and I couldn't really understand who was right or wrong because no one ever gave me that example of what it was looked like to ask for help. And it didn't exist growing up. So I could not ask, was they wrong? Was I wrong? I couldn't ask. I didn't know who to ask. In fact, when I started talking about mental health in my, or when I talked about my first breakdown, you should see the amount of inboxes I got. I was like, oh yeah, me too. I was like, what do you mean? like, like, like your Instagram looks great. Like, what do you mean, you too? And so it was so confusing for me because no one ever gave me the example of what it looked like. And so there's like sometimes a little frustration with me when people act like too tough. And I'm like, man, if you only knew that your vulnerability can save somebody. So, but moving on, so I went through that first part, that first phase. And so because no one was able to help me, I went on emergency leave to Costa Rica. And that is when I left in 48 hours. I booked an Airbnb, and the host of the Airbnb was the therapist.
There you go. You asked for help. You just had to go all the way over there to get it.
And so my bosses at the time, I'm so grateful for them. They were like, "Oh my God, this seems like the universe," and I was like, oh. And so, and so he was like, "If you would like to join us for breakfast," I was like, "Yeah," because I was like booked some Airbnb that was on top of a mountain. I was nowhere near restaurants, and it was the greatest setup I stepped into that I did not realize. but it had such a beautiful view. He was so nice to me. And he asked me one question that changed how I thought, and like how it changed the course of when I came back to Boston. He said, "Are you wanting to go back to Boston?" And I said, "No." And he says, "You need to ask yourself why." I already knew the answer. I didn't want to. And so, fast forward, I made some changes, and I lost a lot of weight. I got my life back, and then I had a second episode. And so that is also why I'm not such a fan when people only use the gym as therapy. You can use the gym as therapy, but there are some things that you're going to have to confront, comprehend, and communicate.
Yeah, it's
with
just
your
an
mouth.
outlet. It's just an outlet.
So I was like, you're going to have to use words. You're going to have to understand language. You're going to have to understand. So even after losing 100 pounds, I had a second episode. So I was like, all right. And so I went through, my job was great. They allowed me, it got so bad that I had to go through, I had like therapy, group sessions, this, that. And I had 3 or 4 appointments a week for a year. This is the part where a lot of people don't know. And so when I got to the last part, which was called the motivational group, I was so looking forward to it. I was like, oh, fine, I'm going to meet people that have gone through this process and they can help me get to a better place. I'm like, I'm so thankful. I'm so hungry. And I got to this place and it was the same thing over and over and over again. And I was like, not trying to be rude. And it was during my working hours. I was calling off work. My job let me. And I just felt like, I don't get it. Like, these people have been in this group for years. And I was like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I was talking to the director. I was like, I don't feel like we're going anywhere. And she was like, I can't help you because this is the last group. And she was, I don't have nothing else for you. And that's why I wrote my second book called This Ain't It. Because I was like, I had no church home. I had no God. I felt like this was his fault. And I had no real friendships. I had no. Were we friends then?
Excuse me? I was part of the first book.
Oh yes.
This is on her second book. Hello.
But hold on. But not close like we are now.
That's not true. Zenaida.
Which one? Wait a minute.
Nasty, thank you.
No.
You had lost all the weight already. You have done all that. You have been on stages. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were my makeup artist then. Okay, you're right, because I was competing. But what I'm talking about, like, we weren't traveling like we were cool. Hold on. To be fair, I was always gone.
Okay, that's true. She was always gone. I had her dog.
She's yes.
He was mine.
She was in the picture, but I was always gone.
Yes, she had a
full
week schedule every day.
I could not go out to like
no dinners, no, because she was
traveling,
no, none of that.
That's no hanging out.
No, that's
so
true.
That's why I said that.
Oh,
okay. Because
not because I had her son for over a year.
So I had a very strict diet, very strict lifestyle, and so to not ruin my diet, I just really did not go out that much. Fair?
Fair.
Okay. Yeah. And so I'm going somewhere with this. So fast forward, I have a third episode. And this time I was like, I'm tired. And so that's when I started being grateful for the revelations, and I'm grateful for like the Bible, and I'm grateful because I feel like I'm getting answers that I've always been looking for. And so, and even if I'm not able to quote things, or I'm not able to figure, like, there's a lot of things, but I'm grateful that I'm not going in circles, period. And one of my favorite scriptures is 1 Corinthians 1:27, where it says, God takes the foolish things to confuse the wise. Me opening gym, me starting the powerlifting team, me serving at outreach. And in that, I was able to find way more things about myself. I was able to find much more vulnerability. I was able to understand transparency. I was able to understand a lot of things that I could not find language to. Okay, so for context. Now, I know, I'm familiar, I shouldn't say I know, I am familiar with how God talks to me. Okay. Um, I don't understand it most of the time, especially with like certain things, but I have the attitude when it comes down to like like with the gym, with the team, with my physical body, with all the limitations that people don't think I have. And I know that how he talks to me. And no matter what I have to do, I have no problem. I'm like, yeah, you just be grateful that he's talking to you. So my most recent prayer is I want you to show me what I need to do with my money. And I used to be such a hustler and money this and money that and this and money this, money. And now I'm having understanding of money and resources and how to a lot of other things. But it's also my most sensitive area. You can tell a lot about someone by their bank account and their earnings more than what people tell you from their life. And so this is the part. I said all of that to say what happened this week. So I'm okay with asking for help. So I thought. When it comes down to my mental health, I have no problem running to the altar. I have no problem asking for help. I have no problem picking up the phone and says, "This ain't it. I can't." Like, I have no problem looking weak. I have no problem looking vulnerable. I have no problem with transparency. I have no problem because I know that he comes through and I know it works. I'm there when it comes down to my mental health. Not a question. When it comes down to my finances, I'm like, don't touch that.
What are you talking to? Papa Dios?
So, but I've been saying, okay, like, it's okay. You can tell I can handle this. So for the longest, I was, I wanted to be broke.
Yeah, I never got that part.
I wanted to be broke because I did not want to live here in Boston. And that's when people ask me like about moving and about relocating, and I'm like, I don't know, I can't relate. I'm here in Boston. I didn't ask for a city. I'm from the Midwest, and I'm here in Boston. And if there was any other city or state, it would never be. This would be on the last of the list. So that's how I feel. I've gotten better.
She loves Boston.
I've gotten better, but it took 10 years. And so, and I know why I have to live here. I know why I have to be separated, but doesn't mean I like it. Okay. So,
That's fair.
okay. So um the part where I wanted to be broke and I was okay with it. And the reason why I wanted to be broke and the reason why I slowly did not start paying my mortgage was because I know how to find loopholes. I'm a master of finding loopholes. And that's one of the reasons why I also went to AA and therapy, because I confess to them, I'm a master of finding loopholes. I will find a way out. I don't know why I'm like that, but I'm great at it, and you'll never figure it out why. And so I knew that if I told folks that I was leaving, they're like, "Are you sure about that? What did the Lord say?" Or if I volunteered to say I was going to move, then I was going to get pushback. So
Pushback, like attention?
I was going to get like, don't move.
Oh, like convincing.
Convincing.
Okay, convincing. Okay.
So if I didn't pay my mortgage, then I was gonna lose my house.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me.
So Bibi one time was like, I never met anyone that knows the value of their house every single month. Remember that?
Every month we will have the conversation. She will bring it up. This month my house is worth this much. I'm like, why? How do you know that? I've been in my house for 15 years, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't look it up. I don't like. How do you know this?
For what was it, 2 years?
Yeah, like for 2 straight years, she's like, this month my house is worth this much. It went up this much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and like,
I've been trying to leave Boston since 2019.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
2019.
I even contacted one of my friends and I said, "Hey, are you looking for a place to stay? I'm not even going to charge you rent. I'm just going to charge you what the mortgage is." So, and then, and then when I went back home, trying to look for a place, which is funny. I told you this. Which was funny. I was offered this humongous building to start a gym,
Oh yes.
and I was like, "This is God.
Yeah.
This is God talking." And I was like, "I have someone that's interested. I have this building, and blah blah blah." I was like, "This is God." And then the prophet was like, "Don't come back." I was like, "You don't know how broke I am." And then I did not come back because I listened, but I was not happy. And that was July of 2020, and and I I was building. I took all this money out. I felt like I was wasting my time. I don't want to get too off of the topic, but anyways, the following month, that's when I met Pastor Davey. So, um, but I've been always even though like the greatest things happen to me here, I always want to leave, and that's just me being honest. And so instead of me saying I'm gonna leave to make people sad, I knew if I didn't pay my mortgage and I lost the house, no one would have thought that I did that on purpose.
That's true because it makes no sense. Just, but anyways.
So, and then I finally asked the question after 2 years. I said, "Why do I want to be broke?" And I remember her, it's because so people don't ask you for help. And I said, because I just feel like it was just, I didn't know how to say no. And not only did not know how to say no, but I was tired of the guilt that was being dumped on me. So fast forward, now I'm in a position where I need to ask for help. And I'm like, no. Because every time I ask for help, it's like handcuffs. That's like leverage. It's
Yeah.
like an opportunity to be like, remember that time I asked you for help? So I hate asking for help. So then I know I talked about this in the first podcast. The first time I had to ask for help is when the roof was leaking. And I spent all my money taking out the 401k, building the team. And just for half the team to leave. I was so angry. But I had to face at that very moment either I'm going to be faithful or I'm going to just be angry. If if I gave my yes, then I'm going to be faithful. And so it worked out with the team part, not the money part. But I also learned that I needed to be in that position so that, because she offered.
A long time ago. How long did you let this run for?
I let it destroy the house another 12 months,
A whole year.
which cost me more money to fix.
Correct.
And so I got a phone call saying it's getting worse. And I was
This was, you were in
like,
Georgia.
and I was in Georgia.
Yeah, she was in Georgia. Okay.
I was in Georgia getting ready for a competition. And I was just like, Do you remember? I don't even know what I said because I try to black it out as much as possible.
Yes, she always starts with, "You busy? You don't have anything. You don't have anything to do. Like, are you working? Do you have to like go pick up the girls? Are you on another phone call? Like it's
I'm already
okay.
sweating right now because
Like it's okay." And I'm like, "Shut up! What do you want?" I knew she was
and
awake.
I hate when she says that. What do you want? I'm like,
Like, shut up! Like, what do you want? Because I know something's coming. So I'm like, "What is it?" And I was expecting this call eventually, right? Because I had put it out there for so long. And I knew she was on the competition, so I wasn't sure when that call came in if I needed to do like a favor for the dog or something, but it was not.
and I told her what would happen, and then she was somewhere along the lines, "Do you want the money?" And I broke down and bawled, like not just one of those cute little ones, like. Like not like how you do those little like novella tears, like no, it was like
I was on the other side of the phone, like, it's okay.
and then like okay, so it happened, and like 2 days later, she like, and we joke around a lot, like we
A
have
lot.
very sarcasm,
Sarcastic, like friendship. Like we go, like a lot of
personality.
banter.
Yeah.
It's a lot of banter.
So one day she joked around. I was like, "Wow, I really wish I had softball money." I was like, "Do not joke like that! Don't joke like this! No, it's not funny! It's not funny! Don't joke like that!" Okay, like
She's like, "I can't handle
oh, I
it."
can't handle that kind of joke right now. Anything but that joke. And so,
Dios mío.
so I gave her the money back, and I was like, "Oh, I'm good. All right, I'm good." This week, never. So we recorded the podcast, and then like a week and a half, 2 weeks later, I got myself in a situation I never got myself before. I accidentally paid my mortgage twice in 1 week, and I was like,
Hmm.
oh my god, like how did I do this? I'm already looking at this. I'm already hot. And then so I was like in the morning, I'm texting my cousin. I was like, I messed up. I don't know how. I was like I didn't know like it wasn't supposed to go through because I saw like like oh blah blah blah, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll try again Monday. And then I was like, oh my god. So she helped me, and I was like, oh my god.
Okay, so was it any better receiving help from
No.
blood?
Okay, let me. Okay, yes,
Okay.
but I knew I had 48 hours, and so my cousin helped me with the portion. I'm still missing a chunk, so I call her. She didn't answer the phone. I go, she's busy. Then shortly after that, she called, and then I did the exact same thing.
You busy? You sure you don't have anything to do? You working? And I already know the tone of this call, so I'm like, "What's up?
No, she didn't say what's up. She's like, what do you want?
What do you need? What do you want?"
Yeah, she goes, what do you need? I go, okay. So I had to hurry up and say, okay, so it's not you, it's me. You may actually like this phone call. I don't. Someone hurry up and say it. I go, I messed up. And then it was like this. I felt like the 2 second silence for like 2 minutes. Like, I was sweating so bad. My anxiety was like all time high, and I was like, oh my god, like. And we just talked about this,
Mm-hmm.
and my cousin was so like the way my cousin sees my life is such like a child. She's like, of course it happened that way, and she's right. Like what happened was she came through. My cousin came through. I was good in 2 hours, and I didn't see it that way. I was still stressing, and my cousin was like, yeah, like but God answered in 2 hours, and when she said that, I was like, man, I gotta admit, like I still have a problem with how God answers my prayers. Like it's still hard for me. So now I have to ask the question, why? And it's because I still struggle with asking for help.
Okay, so my question is, was the help, asking for help to like your cousin who's blood, right? Was it any better than asking me for help? Was the weight like less? Was it, was the stress less? Were you,
Okay. I answer this honestly.
yes, please? And it's fair.
Okay. It was easier to ask her.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. It was easier to ask her because of the last 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And the last 3 months, all I kept hearing was, you can't tell God how to answer your prayers.
Okay.
And I'm in the same position right now.
Okay.
So,
because you've
but
been giving that to her.
correct.
Okay.
I know that with you, like I know like where you're at financially, and I didn't want to bother you.
Okay. I'm loaded because God comes through every single time, baby. I am rich. Nothing's missing. Thank you, Jesus.
So because because of like every time I'm like, hey, let's go to dinner or whatever, her response was like, have you seen my bank account? And so I kept hearing that.
Well, yeah, there's times where have you seen my bank account, my bills? Like,
And so
I have to budget.
I didn't want to bother. I didn't want to be a bother. But I also knew that if I did not ask, was I going to suck up all the, like, because I had just finished paying like all these bills. I just like, I'm trying to catch up from the government shutdown, and um and I felt like I finally caught up for a moment, and then this happened, and I was like, maybe if I'll just suck up, I'll just suck it up. I'll lose I'll lose a lot until next payday, but I'm gonna be okay. And that's what I told myself. But then I also told myself, but do you have to be in this position? And so the question that I always have to be like, I know how to be in survivor mode. Survivor mode
That's easy.
is easy for me. Yeah, I know how to tell myself it's just temporary. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna suck it up. Stand up tall. Lift your head up high. Wipe your tears.
Fix
Get
the
back
crown.
up. I know how to talk survivor talk,
Yeah.
but I don't know how to talk overcoming talk, and that hurt. And I'm guilty of it because, like I said, when it comes down to my mental health, when it comes down to anxiety, when it comes down to my PTSD, when it comes down to that, we're good here. But when it comes down to the financial part, I knew I'm not strong. That's my weak point right there. And so earlier, Nefty was talking about she still feels dumb asking for help. And I get it. I get it because at this age, I should have it figured out by now. But I only know how to talk survival talk. And if I'm going to grow in this area, I have to grow in this area, which is my weakest area. And the other part is that I I confess out loud, I don't like how I'm not always a fan of how God answers my prayers. Yes, He answered it like this for me.
2 hours to be exact.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Bibi. I just didn't like the way He answered it, and I was like, wow, I'm a douchebag. Like He answers it in 2 hours,
And you're still complaining.
and I don't like the way He answered it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I still have more work to do. And so when I was sharing with Nefty earlier today before we push play, I was like, people think like I like calling out certain things. I like calling this out. I like calling that out. But before I call this out, I call that out, I'm called out first. I'm the one that has to go through it first before I can call that out. And I'm still being called out. I'm still being exposed. I'm still, but I'm still okay with vulnerability because I know how powerful vulnerability got me with the mental health part. I know how powerful it got me with the pride part. But so I know it works. I just need to go through the process in this part.
Okay, but is it more the fact that you're asking for, is it the help for money itself, or is there a connection to not having the money and feeling weak or feeling vulnerable? It is an act of vulnerability, right? For sure. But do you also see it as a person that doesn't have it together, or like
I don't.
weakness?
I'm gonna say I don't know that answer yet
Okay.
because I'm finally okay with the exposure. Like right now, it's kind of like ripped off the band-aid and like, oh, what we got here? I don't know yet.
Okay.
I will say that. Um, I know I don't like it. I know I feel like I I'm the one that's supposed to have the money to be able to do this and this and that. And I think the other part, and I know it's not you guys because I have history and relationship with you guys, but I know I'm still relearning that it doesn't come it doesn't come with like leverage. Like I know that with you guys, but I need to. I'm not there yet.
Okay.
That I know that. I don't know the answer. I just know I'm not there yet.
Okay.
But I know it's all about me. How much time we got left? Because uh, because when you're better at it now, but if I pay for dinner or if I pay for something, you think it's like
It's a fight. It's a fight. It's a fight because I'm a single mom of two. Like when she says, sometimes she's like, "Oh, let's go out for dinner," and I'm like, "Have you seen my bank account?" Because I have to strictly budget, right? Mortgage. I have to budget my daughter's sports. I have to budget, other stuff, right? Just life. So I give myself a budget for the week until the next time. So I'm like, have you seen my bank account? So it's kind of like, I don't know that I want to spend the money there.
no. Actually, I know the answer. I know
Oh,
the question. Sorry.
okay. So it's a struggle, right? Because I don't want to break. Do I have money? Yes, I have money, but it's just not for that. So I am extremely disciplined when it comes to that because my thinking is, who's going to come and save me? That's the thinking, like, who's going to save me, right? So like, because if I ask you for money, it's not going to be, like, I got two mortgages to pay. I got stuff, right? So it's like, I'm just trying to obviously, have my back as much as possible.
I think the discipline part is cool, but what I meant to ask, the question I meant to ask was, we had this conversation when we were in Cuba,
Okay.
when we were in the lobby waiting, and you said the way you see money.
Mm-hmm.
You remember? Because you were like of what earning a dollar meant to you.
Yes, I do remember
Okay,
that.
you remember?
Yes.
So I I don't mind giving because I finally can mentally be in the space. I can finally enjoy where I'm at. I can finally embrace like the culture and history. When I've been to Thailand like 7 or 8 times. The only reason why I know more Thailand exists is because of TikTok. I'm like, I was there. No, I was like, that's there. And so I I I I was there was only one street I hung out at. Okay. So I didn't get to explore like I do now. I it was I had a very different lifestyle then. Different country, a very different lifestyle. And so I don't mind spending the money. I don't mind paying for things because number one, I finally get to be here. And number two, I finally get to travel with someone that doesn't make me feel like I need to watch my back or puts me in a position where she needs to be right all the time, or puts me in a position where she has the opportunity to put me down. I get to travel with someone cool.
I am pretty cool.
And that's priceless to me. So our biggest friction is how I spend money. And so she has a problem with that. And I said, for the rest of your life, I'm going to be like this. So please explain what a dollar. I respect how she views. I'm not trying to change that, but this is the part where we will never agree how we see money.
Well,
not a bad thing.
No, and like I said, the value of money, it's just, to me, it's a reflection of your hard work, right? Like your physical hard work that you're putting in. Mind you, I know where my thinking comes from.
Oh, sure.
And, yeah, I grew up in a very poor home, right? Like it was a household of, my mom was a single mom of 3. And when I went to college, when my senior year, obviously it's the first time I needed to see her W-2s. It was $15,000 that she made that year. I was rich because I never knew the things that, nothing was missing. I had food, I had shelter. I was also working as a teenager. So once I started working, I covered as much of my expenses as humanly possible. So I've been working since 14 because I needed to help. But we lived off the system because we had no other choice until we started working. And obviously I've been translating for my mom since I have knowledge. So the way that my mom was treated, because she needed the financial help, because of all of that, hand-me-downs, the Goodwill, savers, like we did all of that. Did we get new stuff? Absolutely, we got new stuff. But I valued the hard work. My mom worked, and she was a janitor, and the stuff that she saw at school, the stuff that she did, the stuff that she had to clean up after, I didn't want that. And I was like, all I can do is appreciate her hard work and not waste her money, not just be so grateful that I just couldn't see misspending or misleading her money in any way, because I thought that was so disrespectful to her time, to her effort. And so when Zenaida wants to do something and she's like, woohoo, I'm like, whoa, hold on. That took a lot of hard work, and I know it's a balance. I love traveling. And it's a balance, right? But I just want to make sure that when we go out and we do things, that she doesn't feel taken advantage, that she doesn't feel like, she's being I'm laying back because she wants to pay the bill. It usually goes down with a fight. It goes down with a fight because I'm to the waitress, you take it. No, I'll try to go to the bathroom and give it to her first, to the wait.
I'll take her cargo.
Yeah, she'll throw it. It's always been a battle because I just need her to know that I got it, and I know she has it, but I also want her to know I got it, right?
But she doesn't. Okay, she does understand, but I don't think she comprehends yet. Maybe she does. The reason why I have money, because I have the capacity to be able to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the capacity to be able to work because of her presence being in my life. So to me, it's always going to be paying for something will never be the amount. It will never lead up to that's where I said we'll always fight. And I'm always going to be okay fighting this part.
And I understand the value that it has to her, because when I hear of the Zenaida before, I'm like, oh, dude, no, we could we couldn't be friends, right? Because
people would love to show her videos and pictures in the past.
Yeah, and it's no. So I understand, and I could see it because I've seen the work since day one. I've seen it all. So I appreciate having this version than the other version that spilled the drink on me, right, when we met. So I understand that, but that doesn't mean that the way I see money and the way that my relationship with it, I just want her to know that there's a value to it, because I know she has to go to work. I know how crazy her schedule is. It's back to back to back. And the other thing we argue about is you need to rest. it's the rest question. Like, when are you going to slow down? Like, when is it? Like, are you good?
That's another podcast.
Yes. So it's just like, I can see everything she's doing, and it's just go, 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 go. So it's like, whoa, just, I don't want her to ever feel like she's being taken advantage of, or, or that her work or her hard work is not seen or valued, because I see it.
Yes. So she understands how I think. I understand how she thinks. And I told her in Cuba, we are always going to fight about this. And I'm going to be okay with
And
this.
that was 2 years ago, and we're still fighting.
So but I'm gonna end with this. The other day I posted in my stories, I have a great life. I do. And I'm very, very grateful for my great life. But a great life does not mean I have it all together. A great life does not mean I have all the money in the world. Obviously not. And a great life does not mean um, that I have all the material things that I desire. When I said I have a great life, what I was reflecting on is that for once in my life, I feel safe. And to me, that's a great life. I feel safe with going to people, even if I don't like it. I feel safe that I can sleep at night knowing that I have people that I can trust. I can't trust people 99%. I can only trust you 100% or not at all. And I know people by name like that. And that I do not take for granted. I have friends that will call me out if they need to be, and I know they're in a good place, and I know it's for my good, and they're not using it as an opportunity to take a stab at me or a jab at me. And so when I say I have a great life, it doesn't mean I stop crying. It doesn't mean I have trouble asking. And it doesn't still mean that I still like the way God answers my prayers. But I'm grateful that He answers them. And I'm grateful for a much greater and better life than it was before. And so I wanted to end with this. Till this day, I still have to ask for help. Until this day, vulnerability is still my superpower. Until this day, I still feel weak. And sometimes weakness may look embarrassing, and sometimes weakness may sound embarrassing. But I'm grateful that I don't have to stay there. And I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to allow the process to take me somewhere that I have no idea where it's going to go. But I know it's going to take me somewhere because it did it with my mental health. And so that's how I'm going to land the plane. How do you want to land the plane?
I actually, a couple of weeks ago, actually, I was kind of going back, reflecting on, 2025, and I was all tears because I might cry now. I've come a long way, right? Like, I look back and I'm like, wow, like, I'm doing this, right? Like, it's happening, and I'm just proud of myself. Like, I've asked for help. I cry a lot. I cried today. I'm crying again today. And it's okay. It's okay. I don't care what it looks like. I'm okay with asking for help. I'm okay making mental health my priority, because if my mental health is not stable and it's not taken care of, how can I give and provide to others? I have two daughters that I have to be there regardless, and they are my priority. How can I be a good friend to those around me if I'm not okay? So I've always been of the mindset that my mental health comes first. I am more than grateful for my blessings, and the fact that I can put my, like, I can go to bed at night and not have to worry that, that I'm not covered. Like, that's priceless. So my riches come in other forms. Might not look like currency or where we want it to be right now, but I'm also rich.
Yeah. I want to, you just said something that so about last year, me and her got into it, like kind of angry at each other. I called her. I said, I need to talk to you. And Bibi's a great listener. Bibi's a great listener. Um, will put your mental health first. Um, But when she was going through it, she didn't tell me. She was trying to figure out her on her own. And I let something pass by for a year and all that. And I didn't think it was going to bother me. And she was trying to be just, I'm going to therapy. I just want to see how I use the tools. And I'm like, mhm. And so I couldn't find myself getting angry. And during lunchtime, I said, I need to talk to you. I go, how can you tell me? Don't worry, she's Chloe trying to get into it. I got on the phone. I said, how can you tell me to ask for help? How can you be available to be my friend, but I can't be your friend? How can you, like, you're telling me this and you're telling me that, but you can't even show me how to ask for help. You're just too busy telling me how to ask for help, but you can't show me how to ask for help. So what am I supposed to do? Should I hold it together? Should I let it all in? Should I just try to figure out the tools? Like, I was angry because I feel like that has always been my life. People telling me how to get help, but never showing me how to get help. And I said, stop doing that. Why don't you show me what it looks like? And so therefore I know how to ask for help. And I think that was, you remember that?
Yeah. I got the call. Yeah, I just think that it's, those are not easy conversations to have, right? But you have to be able to listen, you have to take inventory, and you have to step back and acknowledge, right? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and I'm not going to fight her. She was right. Oh, okay. Yep. Okay. And it's been our journey. So we're in this.
I don't think sometimes we realize that we're doing it.
Yeah.
Um, and so now, I'm grateful. So I hope you guys enjoyed and take something out of this. And like I shared before, if you don't have to pay the price or the lessons, then don't, because it is an expensive one. And we're only sharing this because we're not trying to get nothing out of this. It's a very expensive price. Being prideful is a very, very expensive price. And and we're just hoping that if you can get something out of it and apply it and not become the lesson, then amen.